In 2001, in a book titled Secret Knowledge, Rediscovering the Lost Techniques of the Old Masters, a theory was put forward that it was impossible for the Old Masters, renowned European painters of 1800 and before, to create their work simply by eyeballing it. The book, written by artist David Hockney and physicist Charles Falco, was the beginning of a heated discussion on this connection between historical Western art and photography. Though the debate still rages to this day, one thing is clear: the strong connection between art technique and photography. In 2012, in a video published by B&H, photographer Adam Morelli presented a seminar on Bridging the Gap, classical art designed for photographers. In the video, Morelli highlights techniques used by classical painters. This essay will review these techniques. They include the dominant eye, the creation of movement, the use of light and subject hierarchy, the rhythm of light, the repetition of light rhythms, the compass curve, the arabesque curve, the creation of lines and radiating lines, and the use of reflections. The dominant eye is a technique of positioning the eye of a subject in the middle of the frame. This eye, through the use of light and proximity to the camera, is then made the dominant eye. This procedure results in the eye of the subject seemingly to follow the viewer wherever they go. The creation of movement involves the positioning of subjects and subject parts to create visual lines, directions, and a circular pattern. Take, for example, this medium shot of a man alone versus the same shot where three men are around him. The positioning of these men's bodies, arms and heads, creating a circular pattern, and in the same token, visual movement. The use of light and subject hierarchy involves the use of lighting to relate the importance of subjects within a frame, where the most important subject is lit with a bright light, and less important characters are lit with lower key lights. The rhythm of light technique involves the deliberate selection and placement of dark and bright light within a frame to create a pattern. This pattern creates depth and volume as well as provides information. The repetition of light rhythms is an extension of the use of rhythm. The primary difference is that the repetition creates a visual hook where the mind subconsciously recognizes and organizes the similar patterns of light and dark. The compass curve technique involves selecting and positioning objects and subjects in a pattern that visually simulates a compass curve. This curve creating a visual path that the eye subconsciously follows, as well as creates volume and depth. The arabesque curve, like the compass curve, also involves placing objects within the frame to form an arabesque curve. Its use, however, not only creates volume and depth, but also can enhance the depth of field by creating a foreground, middle ground, and background. The creation of lines and radiating lines effectively creates depth and volume. Though subtle, the visual semblance of lines within a frame will create paths for our eyes to follow. The use of reflections is both visually appealing and technically efficient. It captures the eye while at the same time creates depth and volume. Through the use of water, glass, and other reflective surfaces, it forces the eye to move within the frame from subject to reflection and captures the attention of the viewer. These are but some of the techniques used by the classic painters that can and have been used by photographers. They represent the connection between art and photography, and when used appropriately, create masterpieces.